que eu tivesse, os niños não tem chance de mandar.
Mesmo no topo, sabemos que muita gente
Nunca no desengage line.
EVOS Glory now lead. Not lead.
trail.
They're trailing the series, ladies and gentlemen. If they want to continue forward, if they want a fighting chance, they need to be able to get this win in the second game of the series. Welcome back to the land of dawn for game number 2 for EVOS Glory and Fnatic Onyx. Welcome to
I just have to say that Edith Flex was just beautiful, right? Because it was Flex, it technically gave the opportunity to go for a great pick for either rogue, either double down like the Cho. We saw the Cho in the XP yesterday. By Luke, also up against the Nolan. You want to try to lock him down, like Aldo said. But Emblems, let's get a quick glance.
With all the lethal ignitions for the set of Fnatic Onyx, they have a lot of burst damage, and that extra bit sometimes will be enough to seal the deal. Keyboy, though, with the quantum charge, wants to try and have some more maneuverability and, of course, sustainability when he's just moving around, going for these small skirmishes. The big concern I have right here, especially for Onyx, is the fact that they do have the Edith, but they can give the Primal Wrath into the hands of Clockwind on the Valentina. And that way, they'll get one more massive tool of DPS. And usually, when you're fighting against DPS, against a team with a Terizla, it's going to be difficult to try and contest the burst. Now with a Terizla and a carry, in theory, on paper, EVOS shouldn't really lose out when it comes to a front-to-front clash.
There's a lot of confidence, I believe, seeping out from Sans, going in for the Purify against Fluffy's power pick. Oh, that's a lot of damage already placed from Kyrie. The early game, wait a minute.
Fracture out of bounds! First blood! Waiting for the energy to be used up and then punishing.
Woo. Out of nowhere, Annabelle reading out the maneuvers, reading out the movements. Just like that, small win. Heading an assassin matchup, that could be deadly.
Oh, mid lane though. Earth Shatter, and then onward just used to gap close a little bit. Dreams though, still holding on to that one.
Wow. It's a little similar to game number 1, right? That counter-aggression play coming through, and EVOS were able to get the better out of that exchange. But the question is, what about the setup? Fluffy, at level 4 already, can utilize his penalty zone to get a little bit of a grasp on this neutral objective, and we'll see.
Save the body death as well, come on, one as a penalty zone is flippers into Annabelle, gets laid by Sans, who's still able to dish out some damage. Keyboy, picks up the turtle. Clockwind stole the Primal Wrath away, but look at Fluffy who's isolated. Keyboy, flipping forward. Earth Shatter to take him down, immobilize as well. Onto Dreams, and Keyboy wants to continue this chase, but gets shooed away by Clockwind.
That was essentially a 2-for-0 trade made in by Fnatic Onyx as they were able to pick up the objective and that kill over. And that was the curious thing, right? With the fact that Fluffy was able to utilize it, but there was no follow-up with the penalty zone that he popped up in that final moment to cancel the Feather Airstrike. Arashi, what happened there?
I think it's just unfortunate for EVOS, in theory, right? The Terizla should be a direct counter to the Arsa, but now Keyboy can jump on.
Fracture as well, used up. Keyboy still trying to walk away. And Clockwind finds one last basic attack to finally take Keyboy down.
As I was saying though, there's burst damage available for sure, and usually when a Terizla gets onto you, there's not much you can do, but now Terizla...
Now into the cable, the penalty zone defensively used up, and then Lippy stomps on his head as he's unconscious.
Arashi, I'm sorry, my guy. I keep throwing it over to you, but every time you begin, you get interrupted, so please continue.
No, we will only accept the sorry from Fnatic Onyx.
That's true.
They don't owe me an apology, man. Every single time I start a train of thought, it can never finish. But then again, this is the grand finals, and both these teams, again, when they do see an opportunity, they always want to play for this high-tempo style. I think EVOS have their eyes on Sans, though. Will Keyboy sniff this out? Alright. It'll be a strong situation for now, yet again. Always seems to revolve around the mutual objectives. Especially with the Assassins though, I expected a lot more ganks, a lot more burst attempts on the side laners. Especially now that Bronze is on the carry, he has the tenacity and the firmness, so he's a lot tankier than CW, who went for the Master Assassin. He wants to make sure that he has dominance in this lane that will allow all these high maneuver tools from Fnatic Onyx to be funneled somewhere else. Perhaps to Ludwig, for him to be then the main front line. They can just go for these dangerous walk-ups, and if he lands on Annabelle, it's a done deal like we saw in the previous fight.
Fracture as well. Keyboy not even bombing the Primal Wrath. Carry has rejoined the team fight. Fluffy gets one kill. Annabelle still on the turtle, able to secure it. Backs away instantly. Meanwhile, Fluffy still trying to zone Sans. Annabelle looking for an angle. Gets his Fluffy going to be used up only towards the back of Lippy. What happened to his HP bar? The Dino getting melted. Kyrie looking for a trade back goes onto Annabelle. Woo, but it's forced back.
That's Lupi taken down, and the fact is, that's a trade back in. Oh.
This Kyrie's gotta be careful, spaces out very, very well. And in the bottom lane, it seems Dreams has been shoot away further. Airstrike flicker shots! But Dreams gets up too with his own flicker. Look at Keyboy walking around, canceling that recall. Now trying to sandwich them and conceal. Cancel their recalls. And it was all just a bait. Keyboy has delayed them, and he might just delay it again. Primal Wrath thrown away. Keyboy still trying to find his angle. Fluffy in the back goes into the middle zone, locks Keyboy down. The Earth Shatter used up the Primal Wrath and a flicker out. Fnatic Onic about playing Evil's glory in his bottom lane. That's another result. Both Fluffy back one more shot to do it, and Keyboy is still melting clock with 4 members who are now forced to run away. And now, everybody cancels it. Kai assassinates Brand. CW with the Lycan pounce take Lockwood. Fnatic Onic, it's all on them.
The defending champions in minute number 6, they bared their teeth and they showed the White Tigers what claws are really made of. A 3-4-0 trade. Meanwhile, Annabelle going to be able to get a trade in for that tower in the top side. But despite everything, it's nowhere near as dominant as what Fnatic Onic are showing to us as we take a look at the items.
Also, let's see, going with the Windtalker, gonna go for more basic attacks for later on, but Brand, he recognizes the need for extra physical defense, already with the Steel Liquid, but it doesn't matter if the fights kind of play out like this. Now with Onic controlling, he is going for Keyboy.
Oh, the Earth Shatter connects on the 2. Fluffy goes into the penalty zone. That's a retreat from Annabelle. A retreat and a run. Dreams can be melted down. Fluffy's next on the chopping block as Fnatic Onic pop that, conceal and go and chase. GW has a like it for Kyrie goes into the cutthroat and it's Sans who executes them. Fluffy and Dreams traded for the turtle. Fnatic Onic want to get more. The purple buff is what they set their sights on. Oh! He predicts the dash of Annabelle and CW goes in for the Lycan pounce. My goodness!
Dominance, brilliance, intelligence, whatever thesaurus given. Not really sure which one you would like to use here, but what? Dreams? Okay, they don't find a kill. That was a 3-4-0 trade again for Fnatic Onic. And it's just such a shame for Annabelle because up until this point he's always been able to farm so much quicker. He was a level ahead at some point. Now Kyrie's caught up, but he had more of a say in these neutral objectives. But it really doesn't matter. He gets the objectives, but look at how Fnatic Onic traded back.
He was hanging on to the goal advantage earlier, right before the whole sequence of events, even with the neutral objective. And just like that, Keyboy, man. Earlier, the threat to stop the recall on the bottom side to buy time for Kyrie to come in and clean up. And even there, the prediction to think that Annabelle was going to try and make a play to secure his buff. This man is an absolute menace, and this just locks down Annabelle. Now, whenever he's trying to make a play, he's going to always be worrying about where's Keyboy? What's Keyboy doing? And that few seconds of hesitation can be deadly in a game of this magnitude.
The mind games, and now the damage that Sans has built for himself. That burst damage that comes out before they even go in for these team fights, they have been detrimental now. He's holding 3 items, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, 2. Now looking for purple buff again. Another airstrike onto the back of Flicker as well. Clock on the additional. He's forced to pop the Primal Wrath just to survive.
Great play by Clocken, but in the end, that's still a defensive play. Despite all the aggressive tools EVOS has, Fnatic Onic are making sure that everything needs to be popped defensively. Talking with the Athenas though, who were able to walk up earlier. In the previous game, he ignored the magical defense, not really caring about Sans' damage. Now it's a different story with Keyboy on the Edith. The Primal Wrath basic attacks will be something that he has to contend with if he wants to be the main frontline to buy some time for Brands to be able to just shred someone down.
Yeah, you can't underestimate Gila Sans. There's Gila in front of his name for a reason, right? And even Clocken is now feeling that pressure. The fact that he now has to find yet another ultimate, find and close that gap, that's a big risk because of that trigger with the IMU. And if that happens, that actually can be a loophole utilized by Fnatic Onic to go in for that pickup before they go in for this neutral objective take. And by the way, Annabelle had a level lead above of Kyrie. Now it's completely swapped. Kyrie level 14, Annabelle level 13.
Oh, the missiles catches on Fluffy. Does his welcome straight into the feather airstrike and the Earth Shadow. Fluffy cannot block. He cannot do anything. Purified from TW. Now it's going to be Kyrie who jumps in with a cutthroat. On to Annabelle, who's still able to dash away, but Kyrie continues his onslaught of damage onto Clocken, who's forced to use the Primal Wrath to escape. 1 for 1, XP for XP.
Did I see Kyrie cut through the Lord in the middle of that fight? It's not like he moves in the direction of the Lord for ever so slightly in that fight. Instead of going for the big kills. Brands though!
There's like, this time Suns doesn't have the flicker, so Brands can just walk out of it.
There's 8 more seconds before that happened. But yes, in that fight, Ludwig here, taking a page out of Geek Fam's book, we thought the Chol was what he was going to use in this fight against Annabelle on the Nolan, but no, he went with Barat, and he was able to get a big pickup there, being the main engaged tool. He's a lot more impactful here compared to Fluffy, who in theory can do a lot of work with the penalty zone, showing again the potential of this Barat in the EXP lane.
Yeah, you think that the Barat is more of a passive hero, right? You just want to tank up the damage, you just want to soak in the damage, and these pilots, they say otherwise.
Another onward, and it baits out the flicker. The main initiation tool of Evil's Glory has just been baited out.
Just like that, it's a slow game as Kyrie zooming around. Even in the macro department, for the most part, the waves are so easily controlled because this is the big benefit for the Fanny. There's lot more mobility, whereas Annabelle, his benefit is the faster damage output, the faster burst damage that can be followed up on hard control. But right now, he has to wait for Dreams to try and do something, and Dreams can't really find a way to get to the squishy members that can be one-shot. Dreams will be looking for someone like Kiwoy, someone like Lutpi. So he's kind of locked in here. Annabelle, not really having some targets, and not really having any avenues to even go for a flank to try and find Sans or CW.
Again, those missiles, as they bring Fluffy in. Penalty zone canceled out. Kyrie picks up the Lord. And Fnatic Onic, they just use that conceal as a feint. Right now, Sang has picked up the Winter Truncheon as well. Even more safety, even more security for him. As we said, like earlier, there's going to be more damage output coming out from EVOS, but with Kiwoy on the Edith, it might just even out. If he goes for the Winter, I don't think there's any chance for EVOS to really stand there and tank damage waiting for it to actually expire. Looking at the rest of the items though, Kyrie with the BOD, with the Malefic Roar, he even went with the Dread and Armor just in case, right? For the potential 1v1 scenario. But with that kind of mobility, with how he's been playing it, if he doesn't feel like he can win the 1v1, he just walks away. No problem at all.
As a mid laner, anyone with their right mind would go for Purify against Fluffy's Terizla, right? But not Sans. And the fact that he didn't go for Purify, the fact that he went for Flicker instead, that early Winter Truncheon does make sense because most of the time he's using this Flicker as well to gain an advantage, to gain and close that gap when he pops in that Feather Airstrike. And if he goes in for something like the Purify, honestly, it takes away from his edge. It takes away from his aggression, so it really does make sense. But now, ladies and gentlemen, most of these turrets have fallen as Kyrie already trying to go for the bait.
Oh, just baited in by France though, and will have to be punished. A very rare mistake, but it happened.
It was looking so good for just a bit. But France there, even before the win of Nature, was able to actually get that kill. That was unfortunate for Fnatic Onic, but for the most part, they still have the control. And now they gotta be a bit more careful. This is where EVOS is at their comfort zone, this late game discipline style, with France having a lot of damage, a lot of save.
I'm a Fender into the dash, rocket penalty zone into the back line, but it doesn't find Sans. Kiwoy does the same near the back, but it's gonna be a purify from France. Trying to watch to escape, he loses his life. CW with the Lycan Pound, able to get 2 immortalities, but now it's Falcon with the final rat Sans. With her Truncheon, the Rapture has, doesn't have the flicker, he's gonna be slayed by Falcon and Kiwoy. With the immortality, Kyrie no purple, the Lycan Pounds. But Calvin with that time. Somehow, someway, they won that fight.
They made it a 3-4-2 trade. They made it a 3-4-2 trade. CW gonna have the space, gonna be able to take this purple buff away from Annabelle, and what looked like disaster for the defending champions has ultimately been turned around by CW, Mr. Constantly Winning.
And even by Kyrie, just came out of nowhere when he was thought that he was out of the equation. Now he's going back at it again. That's a lot of damage from Brands though. Fortunately for Brands, he was actually able to stay alive in that fight, even though he and CW were kind of eyeing each other out at the end of it. Now with 8 seconds to go, EVOS has yet another chance to go for it. Can they do so though with a 6k gold deficit?
Let's circle back on CW though, right? 4-0-5 so far on a Roger that notoriously is very reliant on the snowball, right? Would you consider Fnatic on the snowball? How far is the items looking for CW?
CW at this point is at a full inventory slot if you consider the boost as well. Here's the Rose Gold even, so he can just go in aggressively, especially with the Roger, right? A lot tankier right now. Kiwoy being the gatekeeper here, is waiting for a chance, waiting for an opportunity. And this is the problem, especially for EVOS. They can't really go and shut and deny and bring someone down immediately. The card control tools don't last that long, and at this point, Kiwoy and Ludwig are just a bit too tanky.
Look at that. Conceal play by EVOS Glory. But Fnatic know how to play this macro. They play it slow.
So looks like Kyrie gonna utilize his high mobility on Fanny to be able to create a push in the top lane. Trying to force. Oh, wait a minute.
Whatever, Shatter. Not gonna fully commit on that. Fluffy might just be assassinated, losing the HP bar down to a 4. Death is also gonna be committed. He's still picking and choosing who he wants to go for. He doesn't decide to go for it, and the Feather Airstrike gets used up. Shoo EVOS Glory away from this mid lane.
That's a big resource spent out. Fnatic, they definitely want to go for a reset here without the Feather Airstrike as well as Lutfi's ultimate. And you can see that with Kyrie constantly pushing in the top lane, they have actually forced Annabelle to deal with it. So both teams have their reasons to go in for the reset.
Surprising though, seeing that Fnatic was so far away from his teams that Fnatic with their DPS output won't go for something, but CW, fortunately, wasn't really spotted right there, so there won't be a big play from EVOS to secure him. On the other hand, look at Sans. Is he waiting for Annabelle to try and go for a purple buff?
Gila Sans. What is he thinking here?
It seems to be a possibility, but now he'll be backing away, going back to the Lord with the wave pushing on the top side. This is their chance. This is their moment. Once again, the patience games continue. Whereas for Fnatic and EVOS, they've both shown that they don't really panic and make a crazy move unnecessarily in these situations.
Walker no purifying. Kiwi goes in for Onrad. The Earth Shadow only grabs his damage. He's able to melt one down. Kiwi forced to use the primal wrath, loses immortality. Lippy has immortality as well. Kiwi able to win the rat. Pops to conceal to disengage, but they leave Lippy all alone. Isolated, and EVOS Glory capitalized. Now on the Lord they go. Enhanced. 17 minutes in. Fnatic don't want no business. Not against this EVOS Glory lineup in the 18th minute.
That's a man advantage, and that's a neutral objective completely given to EVOS on a silver platter. Kyrie. Okay, he gets out there.
Okay, dude, we get it. We get it. You're good on assassins, man.
I mean, we don't talk about what happened in the top lane.
What happened in top lane?
Nothing.
Well, for EVOS right now, though, they are certainly trying to make something happen. Look at the bottom side. Kyrie is going for a push. CW adjusting his build to try and get a bit more DPS, a bit more clear. Gets a full item carry. They seem to be struggling. But by the way, I believe Kyrie once again controlled the Lord in that fight though. That's a massive, valuable chunk of damage. For Fnatic, with the Lord coming in, they do have tools to clear, but they have to be careful, especially Sans, for a play from EVOS to try and shut him down.
Yeah.
And no purple buff now.
But remember, Sans just picked up the Holy Crystal, so that damage is flowing.
Now with the Lord up top. Oh! It's a good item defended, pulling Lippy back, but he has a flicker to escape. Kiwi now holding him down. Kyrie goes up the control, does some damage. CW forced back, and rolls over here, gets popped in as Kyrie goes over to play once again onto Franz. Still able to survive. Now Sans loses damage back. Oh, what happened? He got the smallest. Kai in the back of the cable. Once again, CW goes into re-engage. He wants to go for the triple kill, and he gets it. Calvin Winata again and again and again.
Constantly winning. Winata, CW, what in the world? Time and time again, he is breaking boundaries, he is breaking limits, and he is breaking bones of EVOS Glory. 4 members are down, Annabelle the only one up. There aren't necessarily minions for them to play with, but what's a play from Fnatic Onyx? Like, CW, that's tough enough, but with Kyrie's damage with him as well? Are they gonna go for the end?
Dashing out. Oh my! What was